I'm not man, they just see me as Negro. I'm not man, they just see me as evil. I'm not man, they just see me as Negro. I'm not man, they just see me as evil. I'm not man, they just see me as Negro. I'm not man, they just see me as evil. I'm not man, they just see me as Negro. I'm not man, they just see me as evil. I'm not man, they just see me as. I'm gonna let you continue to be the one who gets to define me. I am man, because that's what I see me as, and all I need is my vision of me to define me.
Yo, peace and harmony, family. It's the one and only your boy Divine Frost, and we back with facts over feelings. Let's get it. All right, so this episode and a couple next episodes, I'm gonna be going over Kemetic spirituality because I just feel like it's just time. It's time for the transition. It's time to give up religion. It's time to give up, you feel me, the devil. It's time to give up um outside Sky Daddy God. It's time to give up Jesus. It's Yumna saying it's time to believe in yourself and save yourself because nobody's going to save you besides yourself. And that's what Kemetic spirituality is all about. It's a way of life. You know what I'm saying? Controlling your own life, controlling your mind, maintaining a strong mind, a healthy body, a healthy soul. So we just gonna hop straight into it. Like I said, Kemetic spirituality is more, it's more than a belief system. Like most people think, you know, the worship of different gods and all this stuff. And I even had some people say tell me that it was paganism, you know what I'm saying? So but like I said, it's a way of life. It offers a set of guidelines and practices designed to help us live in harmony with nature because we are one with nature. At its core, Kemetic spirituality encourages us to live in alignment with nature, natural laws, a state we reach through self-awareness, meditation, yoga, and conscious living. A key part of this awareness is understanding the impact of our diet. The food we consume affects our physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Being informed about what we eat empowers us to make better choices, choices that support a long, vibrant life. Because you know nowadays everybody want to say, you know, the saying, "Life is short." It shouldn't be short. It should be long, prosperous, fun, creative. You know, living. You know what I'm saying? In tune and shit. So Kemetic spirituality also connects us to the divine forces of nature. These divine principles are communicated through the meta netter or the words of the gods. The meta netter explains the relationships between humanity and the divine, showing how the Netaru, which the gods and the goddesses, represent the physical and spiritual principles of creation. So nowadays, you know, we would call them gods. But in the past, when, you know, our ancestors were thriving, they weren't, first off, we didn't use gods and goddesses. We didn't, that wasn't a word. Like we called a meta netter, the netaru. Singular would be netter. And then if you're talking about plural, would be netaru. Those were, like I said, those were the principles of the creation, the aspects of the creation. So we just named basically the certain elements. You know what I'm saying? We named them, we gave them names so we could, so they could be more relatable. That's it. It wasn't like, oh, we worship we worship the water god. You know what I'm saying? No, like it was a more recognition, awareness. You know what I'm saying? So the teachings of the Meta Netter inscribed in the ancient temple walls and the papyrus scrolls formed the foundation of the oldest recorded spiritual system known to mankind, which most people say is different, quote unquote, religions or whatnot. Everything stemmed from Kemetic spirituality. Um, when we apply these teachings in our daily lives, we learn how to live in a way that awakens and honor the divine spirits within us. Within us. We all have that within. So in ancient Kemet, this spiritual knowledge led to a thriving society, one that valued education, science, and architecture. The wisdom of Kemet inspired monumental achievements that still amaze us today, aka the pyramids, Sphinx, um, all types of stuff. The blueprints of different monuments, the wonders of the world, they came from, you know what I'm saying, our ancestors. So in between, I want to talk about just give a little motivation, because I just like to motivate people. I want people to be their best self. I want you to grow. So this episode, I'm talking about developing a strong mind. And I feel like that connects with the intro to Kemetic spirituality. Developing a strong mind and you will live a strong life. You're supposed to learn new things every day. Hint, Kemetic spirituality. It literally, as we get further into explaining, you'll see how literally that's a big connection. You're supposed to learn everything every day because that's how you develop, that's how you grow, that's how you do better in life when you learn new things. If you're just content with what you know, you're not gonna, you know what I'm saying? That's how most people settle for a job that they don't like. Well, that's because you didn't explore your options. You don't even know what else you know how to do or what else you might like. So you gotta, you know what I'm saying, you gotta explore those things. That goes with as well, challenge yourself daily. Every day you should be doing some type of challenge, no matter big or small. Some type of challenge so you can better yourself. You feel me? Um, by following in the footsteps of the Netaru, we can live in alignment, mind, spirit, or mind, body, and soul with the divine. Kemetic spirituality encourage us to remain positive, vibrant, uh, and aligned every day. So this goes with being grateful, every day, gratification, because that eliminates doubt and anxiety, which also goes hand in hand with what you put in your body, can also eliminate these certain mental illnesses or issues that we have come to develop nowadays. So ultimately, Kemetic spirituality help us stay aware of the sacred connections between humanity and the divine. It reminds us that the world around us is not separate from us. It is an extension of who we are. It teaches that divinity exists in all things, even the simplest forms of life, aka animals, which most people support the massacre of animals for our self-enjoyment, which that is a form of negativity. That is a form of low vibrational actions. Um, that's not alignment with nature because the animals are a part of nature. Now there are different planes of existence. Before I get into the creation story, there are different planes of existence that we can choose to align with. The higher the level or plane we align with, the closer we become to the divine or closer to God as we know today. This is the essence of theurgy, the pursuit of becoming a living embodiment of godliness, which we all can do. So that leads me to my next tip. Is growth is the key to life. Um, growth. You're supposed to, and not just when we're young, every day, even as the quote unquote these adult ages, we're supposed to prioritize growth. You're supposed to learn new things every day. You're supposed to try new things. You're supposed to attempt new things, practice new things, because what else are you doing if you're not doing that? Like, seriously, seriously, if you think about it, like, why are you not challenging yourself? Why are you just content? If you're not a millionaire, billionaire, and you just got whatever you want, why are you not doing these things? So um that and as I've been on my journey, I've learned that the mind is like a muscle. So the more you challenge yourself and push yourself past your limits, the better, the strong first off, the stronger your mind gets, and then the better you become, and you can navigate through life better as you push yourself and don't be content, or if you fail once, you just give up. You know what I'm saying? You have to keep going. You have to push past the limits. So even when I'm like in the gym and you complete your 3 sets, go one more, see what you got. You know what I'm saying? So go to failure. I've started to do that lately. Go to failure. We don't do no certain sets. We do till you can't do no more. That's it.
Now back to theurgy.
To practice it, we must understand that um, the Kemetic creation story, which I'm gonna get into next. The story explains how the creation came into existence and how, with each step, a different force or principle of nature emerged, each one fulfilling a divine purpose needed at the moment of time. So that's like a play, when we're in school or whatnot, a play. Everybody has their own roles, even if it's like somebody a tree. You know what I'm saying? They make their role unique. So they might be a tree that's sing. You know what I'm saying? Like that's their role. Like when it's your time, you do what you gotta do. So it's the same for these principles. They, like I said, now today we call them gods, but back then it was aspects of the creator, principles of the creator, of the creation. We just named them. Like you'll see, you'll see, like the sky, we just gave it a name. It's not like we worship the sky, we just gave it a name so we can relate to when the sky was created. So this before I start the creation story, my last tip is to be around strong people. To also achieve and keep a strong mind, you have to be around strong people. You can't have people always, you know, telling you the negative things, or trying to put you down, or I don't even know, not very supportive, or never want to talk about, goals in life. And you just got to watch those people, because like I've noticed that a lot of us have people that hold us back or keep us down, and we keep them around just because we've known them for a long time, or we've been friends for a long time. That doesn't mean anything. When it's time to grow, it's time to grow. You know what I'm saying? Animals, when the bird grow up, bird leave the nest. Time to go. Mama kick them out. Boom. Now I ain't saying like parents and shit. I'm talking about friends and shit, but not the parent analogy. You feel me? We ain't gonna get into how the parents supposed to do, but I'm talking about like friends. When it's time to go, it's just time to go. You can outgrow friends. No matter how long you've known them, you can outgrow friends. So make sure you keep that in mind. You can outgrow friends. It's not a bad thing. Okay, so now into the creation story. Um, the creation story, it begins with Ra, the sun god, and which is the source of all life, as we know it. The sun gives life to everything. So Ra emerged from the primordial waters of none, which existed before anything else. So none is the original formless substance of the universe. Nothing existed on Earth until Ra rose from none. So none would be equal to, if you guys heard of the story where like So, as above, so below, and how there's the ocean, and how they say it's water in space. So that is true, but it's like plasma. So how we can see the blood, but you can't, what I'm saying, the plasma clear. So it's I spoke about it in my other episode explaining the the Shabaka stone. And it's basically like it's the scientific, the unseen. That's what it was, the unseen. So basically physical is the seen, and then there's an unseen. So there's two parts of the science. You know what I'm saying? The two, like a coin, is two parts of the coin. One side would be physical, and the other side would be like um the spiritual or mental or whatever, you feel me, different realm type shit. So it is water, but it's like the unseen version of water. So everything has to emerge from that. So that's where Ra rose from. So as Ra emerged, he initiated the casual plane, which this began the structure, the order of the universe. So with him, it came the spiritual principles that govern the world. These are the divine laws in nature, the divine laws of nature and science that maintain balance. So now here comes another principle, which is Ma'at. And Ma'at represents those principles and the truth and the order that Ra put in place next. So she provides the environment in which all the things can exist in harmony. So without Ma'at, there wouldn't be law and order in the universe. So if you always heard of universal law, that's basically what Ma'at represented, the universal law, certain like karma, what goes around comes around, that comes from Ma'at. You get what you stole, or you feel me, that after these spiritual laws were set, the atmosphere came into being, making it possible for living creatures to survive. Now, the next divine force, or Neter, to be created was Shu, which is the god of air. Shu separates earth from the sky. His dry air is what brings precipitation like rain, snow, and hail. And then next, introduced Tefnut, which is the god of moisture. So together, Shu and Tefnut formed heaven and earth. So now you have heaven and you have earth. Now, above them stretches the sky, home of the stars, represented by the goddess Nut. So once there was a heaven and an earth, you feel me? Nut was the sky. Nut. So if you ever seen, Egyptian photos and whatnot, and you see the picture with it, and looks like a body stretched across, with stars in it, that's Nut. Nut's body arches over the earth. Her limbs touches on the ground on both sides, and then she's depicted with the stars across her body, symbolizing the Milky Way to show her celestial and divine nature. And then each evening, she swallows the god, a sun god, Nut, which that is the sunset. And then each morning she gives birth to the god again, you know what I'm saying, which is the sunrise. So the cycle, like I said, that's the cycle of sunset and sunrise. When Ra rises in the morning, he is called Ra Kepra. And then at sunset, he is called Ra Atum. So that basically Ra Kepra is, and that actually relates to the dung beetle, as I spoke to with the Shabaka stone as well, which that's the depiction of Ra Kepra, which is the beetle with the disc on top. So that it represents sunrise when Ra is in that form. So Ra has different forms when it sets and when it rises. So the earth itself is represented by the god Geb, who lies beneath Nut. I'm sorry, the Geb and then Nut, but lies beneath Nut, forming the land that stretches out below the sky. So, like I said, back to that picture when you see it stretched out and it looks like a person, that's Nut representing the sky with the stars, like I said, representing the Milky Way. And then the ground, Earth, is Geb. So, after Earth was formed, humankind was created. Humans were made with multiple aspects. One of the most important one being the ego. So this ego is something we must balance and refine through the applications of wisdom and intuition. So basically it's saying we must control our ego, which if we know history, a certain group of people allowed their ego to overcome them. And then we had multiple hundreds of years of slavery. We're not going to get into that, but you know what I mean. So that's what happens when you let the ego take over. Now, the ego is represented by the God Set, while wisdom and intuition are embodied by the goddess Aset, also known as Isis. These are parts of human personality because in Kemet thought Kemet thought mankind is an eternal soul. So a divine being. So basically you are a divine being in a physical form. Yeah, I'm saying. So like I said, in Kemet, they thought that mankind is an eternal soul. And you are a divine being in a physical form. So we are more than our body. Even though we must take care of our body, it's more like a vehicle. It's a vessel. You are what's within the body. You give like, excuse me. So you know how they say lifeless, the life force. That's what you are. We are really the life force within the body. The body just allows us to be in physical form. So just like when I said the water with the ocean and then outer space, it's still water. It's just the seen and the unseen. It is basically science. That's all it is. It's science. And back then in Egypt, Kemet, Nubia, um, they used to teach these things. This was something that you learned in what we would know as elementary and middle school. You would start to learn about these things. So they knew about metaphysics and science and agriculture. Like I said, everything. If you know about the Avengers, everything that they be talking about, the time travel and all that, and everything, they knew about all that. Believe it or not, they knew about it. So back to the creation story. So after what I said, where was we at? Set, which was the ego, and then wisdom and intuition, which is a set. After that, this divine soul is represented by Asar, also known as Osiris, the guy whose story symbolizes death and reincarnation. In mythology, his brother, this is the story where his brother Set dismembered him, cut him up, out of jealousy, symbolizing the eternal battle we often face within ourselves: ego, jealousy. Alongside Ra, two primordial goddesses, Asuaset and Nepatet. I always struggle with her. Nepatebatet helped create the fundamental elements of existence. So they made, you feel me, that was the first actual Holy Trinity, as most people know. They are seen as the grandmothers of the gods and the co-creator with Ra. So together they formed, like I said, the divine triangle, the formation of the tree of life. So Ra, Asuaset, and Nepatet Patet were the three basically original creations. Like without those two, there wouldn't be anything. So those were the grandmothers and you feel me, the co-creators. So basically they like the grandparents of all the gods. So during the Kemetic creation story, each divine principle or element was persified and given the names of the gods and goddesses. Like I said, it's like a grand, like a play. Like I said, everybody has a role, a backstory, a unique set of challenges that they had to overcome. So that's why we gave them names. So it was more relatable. So we would be like, okay, you're going through that in life. Okay, that relates to what Gabe had to overcome when he was coming in creation of the earth or whatnot. So it just made it easier to relate to them. By learning these stories, we gain insight into how to navigate our own challenges. Like I said, we can align ourselves with the principles that best help us rise above what we face. Now, in this creation sequence, each element emerged in the exact order that their virtues were needed. These elements weren't just random, they were sacred and purposeful. And the names they carry are reminders of the divine wisdoms that they represent. So now these are um these are some more, might be new ones that I didn't mention before, but these are the names of the gods, aka Metaneter. I mean the Netaru. Excuse me, not the Metaneter. The Metaneter is their language. The when they you feel me recorded things. The Metaneter is a language. These are the Neters and the Netarus as plural. So the first one is the Huti, which is the god of the moon. And then his companion is Ma'at, which is the goddess of balance and harmony. Then you have Het Heru, also known as Hathor, the goddess of festivities, excuse me. Then you have Shu, which is the god of the air. And then Tefnut, which is his companion, god of moisture and precipitation. They each one each one had a male and female, by the way. So we always recognize that there must be male and female for creation. So then you have Nut, which is the goddess of the night sky. And then you have Geb, which is the god of earth. Then you have Asar, which is the god of vegetation. And then you have Set, which is the god of chaos, confusion, destruction, storms, foreign lands, eclipse, earthquakes, and violence. Um, Next is Aset, which is Asar's companion, goddess of wisdom and intuition. Then you have Nebhet, goddess of air. Then you have Heru which is the god of war in the sky. Then you have Nebatet, represents rest, and when combined with motion, so symbolizes. So this is also another triangle. So when you combine Nebatet and
Ra.
they represent rest, and then when you add motion, which is represented by Asu Aset, they create time and space. So, like I said, together they form a triangle with Ra. Like I said, Nebatet and Asu Aset. Asu Aset, like I said, is known as the grandmother. So understanding the creation process helps us connect with the principles that were active in the beginning of time, which if we apply these principles today, we can raise our vibration to a higher energetic level, one that basically aligns us with the divine. So I'm gonna end it right there. We're gonna save we're gonna save some. Like I said, there's gonna be a series of episodes. I'm gonna give you a little bit at a time, so I don't want to flood you too much. But I'm gonna end this episode with two quotes from Zig Ziglar. The first one is, if you are not willing to learn, no one can help you. But if you are determined to learn, no one can stop you. And the last one is, you don't have to be great to start, but you need to start to be great. So on that note, we're gonna get up out of here. Like I said, this is the first of a series of the introduction to Kemetic spirituality, breaking it down, explaining it to you. We just went over the creation story. Next, I'm gonna get more into how spirituality was spread and how it is basically the foundation for majority of these religions that we know nowadays. So, out. That was it. Hope you have a great one. Peace, love, and we out.